She's got some nice long hair.
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Barron, and welcome into a live post-game reaction to this unfortunate loss to the Washington Commanders. The Bears lose 12-7 at home on a last-second throw or last play of the game throw over to Darnell Mooney. And unfortunately, it didn't go well. I'm already seeing some comments out there. Guys, this is going to be a good review. We're going to be breaking down 10 big takeaways, some of the good, some of the bad, because obviously this wasn't great. But there was some good stuff out of it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're watching out there on YouTube. Leaving a comment too also really does help as well. You can also find the podcast everywhere that you get your podcast. Just search for Unbearable Sports. But yeah, today was difficult, 12-7. But hey, from an overall stats perspective, Bears only allowed 86 total passing yards, according to ESPN. And we didn't let them run it all over us completely, right? Brian Robinson held to 3.5 yards a carry. So overall, the defense played well. There's that. And honestly, this should have been a bigger game than this, right? Like, we should have won by a little bit more, but it's difficult. I see reload out here. Yeah, it's hard. This is difficult because I heard a lot of people say before this game too, if we lose this game, it really does set where we are at as a team, right? It sets where this organization is at because the Commanders are not a good team, right? We go in, we played like the better team. We did. But ultimately, bad plays ended up costing us this. There was no bigger bad play than what Sam I Am Gaming said. Bayless did it again, right? The fumble of the punt, the rookie mistake. But hey, you make this rookie mistake again, that's where it's a little bit challenging, a little bit difficult. But let's break some of this stuff down. So first off, just some of the key injuries I just want to call out. N'Keal Harry, healthy scratch for this game. Kind of expected it a little bit. I wanted him back because of the wide receivers, but unfortunately, since he didn't have a lot of practices underneath his belt, we did not see him laced up, right? He did not play. Hopefully the next game, after a full week of practice, he should at least be out there, right? So hopefully, we'll talk about this later on. We can at least get him back to see what he can do as a wide receiver. But yeah, this was not a pretty game. And I kind of want to just go straight into the Bears offense, right? This Bears offense, this was the problem today, right? If we look at the passing offense, Justin Fields, 14 for 27, 190 yards, one touchdown, one interception off of someone's face in the middle of the end zone. But he was sacked for 5 times with a passer rating of 71.5. So Justin Fields, though, was running it a lot. 12 carries, 88 yards, 7.3 average. Khalil Herbert went beast mode, 7 carries, 75 yards. And David Montgomery still had a pretty good game, 15 carries for 67 yards. But unfortunately, that wasn't enough. This is what we're talking about. We had some good production. And actually, we were very, very close to my bold prediction that we would get over 400 yards. I think I said over 400 yards, and we were so close. We did good. We did well, but we just couldn't capitalize. And that's the biggest thing, is it's about getting the ball in the end zone and capitalizing. We went down. This should not have been a 12-7 game, right? Take off the touchdown if Bayless doesn't fumble. Add a couple touchdowns if we just capitalize in the red zone. Add a couple points, right? We did not execute. We did not execute down in the red zone. And this was also a team that was supposed to do well in the red zone. We jokingly said they've been practicing for red zone plays, but is this team ever going to be in the red zone? We just didn't execute. So let's look at just some of my takeaways. First one, Fields left a lot of easy plays on the field. So let me know down in the comments, because I'm actually really curious about this. What did you watch? Did you watch the original broadcast or did you watch the Prime Vision? Because I was like, you know what? It's not every day that the Bears can play on it's not every day the Bears play on Thursday Night Football. I want to watch the Prime Vision, right? It was okay. It just I didn't love I loved the faraway view, but I also didn't like the faraway view. But one of the things that the Prime Vision really helped with was you saw the people that Justin Fields was missing. Justin Fields leaves those easy plays on the field, and that's what we saw today. All saw, I feel like we all saw this cross. I think it was Equinemius St. Brown. The two punts that we had in the first half, one, he went deep to Mooney, but literally right in front of his face, here's Equinemius St. Brown just cutting across, right? This is where he wants to go for the big play, he wants to make the big thing happen, but he goes bigger, right? And then on the other third down play, what happened is it looks like Mooney kind of does a little slant, and then Cole Kmet blocks, but then follows him right across the middle. Yet again, Cole Kmet is actually open, and if you throw it to him and hit him, he should be able to run for a first down. But instead, he kind of tucks it in. He's looking more downfield. And instead, what ends up happening is I think he ends up trying to run it and gets a couple of yards, but ultimately doesn't get the play. I hope that they're going to talk about this in the film room and say, Justin, look, look at this play. You're supposed to hit this guy. This is the fear with Justin Fields, right? We see the big playability, right? 88 rushing yards, almost 200 yards passing. This guy is a beast. He's great. He can make the big plays, right? It's about it, but it's just about executing an offense. That's what he did not do. There was many plays that it seems like this is the guy. They even call it out in the broadcast. You saw Mooney kind of go to the inside. Yeah, he's not wide open, but he's NFL open, right? So it's stuff like that that you can easily point at and say, you are looking at this guy, you need to throw it. He's not wide open, but you need to throw it, right? This is a coachable moment that you just got to be able to show this to Fields and say, I saw you looking at him. You got to make that throw. So that's something that is a big takeaway. Just still, Fields just needs to execute the offense better, right? Take the easy plays. Don't try to play hero ball the whole time, right? But the next little takeaway, I want to call this out. Schofield and Jenkins. Who else saw that little weird rotation? Right? The Bears gotta hate Tevin Jenkins. Like, if you are watching how Lucas Patrick is playing and you go, you know who we should bench? Tevin Jenkins, right? Tevin Jenkins is not the problem on this line. Honestly, when you're watching this game, this is what we talked about pregame, right? We talked about Payne. We talked about Jonathan Allen. We talked about those guys having big games. And they did. They were constantly in the face of Justin Fields, constantly hitting the quarterback. That's what happens. That's what happens with Lucas Patrick. Lucas Patrick has played terrible. But why did the Bears decide, you know what? I'm going to take out Tevin Jenkins and we're going to put Michael Schofield in, right? This is the issue that I'm seeing, right? Why are you taking Jenkins out when there is the problem of Sam Mustipher, as Reload's calling out, and also Lucas Patrick? To me, I don't get it's like you've seen Lucas Patrick at that left guard spot. When he's been playing that, he's been getting cooked. He's not looked good there. So just swap him out. But also, too, I want to just call this out as well. We saw Michael Schofield out there for a handful of snaps, right? And Michael Schofield is the most vanilla dude when he's playing out there, like especially in the run game. Like when he's in the run game, you're like, dude, just get aggressive. Like he just seems like when he's out there, he's like, should I hit someone? Should I pop someone? Like what should I do? Right. But to me, he looks better than Lucas Patrick out there. If you want to move Lucas Patrick to center, just freaking do it. Right. Just do it. Put Schofield at left guard. But also, we have a long week. And guess who's practicing? Alex Leatherwood. If Leatherwood is still not activated, you know that the Bears are just going to keep him on the bench, right? That's what it seems like. And yet again, he's not been activated yet. He's been practicing, but they still have that 21-day practice window that they can use with him. So that's where I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see the Bears, but also Thank you, Reload. I love that. He says, I love your show because you're so positive after the game. You're not mad like me right now. Yeah, it's my attitude right now about this as well. I was just like, just kind of said a couple choice words and was like, time to record, right? But here's the thing, too. You also got to see it the other way. I've always felt the same way about this team, right? This team is not going to be a playoff caliber team. So I feel like there were some good things, especially when we go to the defense. I can't wait to go to the defense. We're going to end this show on a high note, guys. The defense played awesome. And also, you lose this game, I wish the Bears win every game, and I always root for the Bears to win. I'm not someone who's rooting for a loss, but after a loss to one of the worst teams in the league, we might be loving this loss a little bit more in April. Just saying. just saying. But let's go into my third takeaway for the game. Fields, this is just something I want to bring up. Can Fields stop laying on the ground after he gets hit? I know on some of them he gets popped and he like legit is hit, but on some of them it's like he just gets tackled and he just like lays there face down like he just got injured. And then everyone's heart just like stops. But then you're like, dude, then he like gets up and then he's just like, okay, I'm good, right? Every time you get hit, stop just laying on the ground. Like, get up, please. I just wanted, there's so many other takeaways, but I just want to call that out for this show. Just stop laying on the ground every single time that you get hit. I know some of them hurt. I know, getting smacked, you're going to feel it. But seriously, you gotta just please stop it, because I don't think my heart can take it if you keep on laying it on the ground, because every Bears fan just gasps. But now it's like almost like crying wolf a little bit. That it's a non-real football take, but yeah. But my next take, though, is number 4. It's a real football take here. We need N'Keal Harry because, yeah, Dante Pettis, he had a couple good grabs, and then all of a sudden he comes back and he starts doing crappy, right? Makes a good end zone touchdown catch. Perfect pass by Justin Fields. Great play. But then he comes back and he's like, you want to see me drop more passes again? Comes back, drops 2 passes at least, right? He was targeted 7 times, 4 receptions, 84 yards, and a touchdown. Darnell Mooney, 7 receptions, targeted 12 times, 68 yards. Now, obviously, the drop in the red zone and also a target that was swatted down at the line. It's at least good to see Darnell and Fields getting more of the targets, because that's the good player. That's the good receiver that we need to get the ball to. So it's nice to see that a little bit more. But Cole Kmet, 3 targets, 1 reception for 15 yards. This is what we're talking about with just wide receiver, like another wide receiver, another target. Cole Kmet just ain't it right now. He got targeted 3 times, one catch. Cole's not doing anything extra here, right? And honestly, it should be 4 targets because of the red zone throw, kind of. It smacks off someone's face and then an interception, but still. But I also want to bring this up too, that Velus, he's fast. He shows that extra speed, but I don't think he's a true wide receiver yet, right? So that's where I think N'Keal Harry is the guy that you really need to see out there. But Pettis, I was all ready to say, hey, Pettis redeemed himself. And then Pettis is like, you want to see me do it again? And he did it again. But let's go to my 5th and final offensive takeaway. Amazon's timer highlighted Fields' greatest weakness. Now, if anyone else is watching the Amazon vision, the Amazon stuff, it was actually really entertaining. But the thing that just I didn't really like was you realized how fast 2.5 seconds are, right? Majority of good quarterbacks release the football after 2.5 seconds. But you see Justin Fields, he's just starting to get through some of his reads at 2 seconds. He still holds the ball way too long. And you really saw that, especially when you were seeing this. And the first 2 sacks, he was holding the ball for like 6.8 seconds. So close to 7 seconds. But yeah, he likes to just take that extra time. And that's something that we got to just speed things up. We got to go quicker. Maybe take more shotgun snaps. I know that this is a run-first team, but when you're taking it under center and it's a single back type of formation, you have to start running back. It might be easier for him just to take it out of the shotgun and make sure that he can kind of play. So, yeah, that's something that he was just kind of going a little bit too long behind the line of scrimmage. Renewable says Getsy called a good game, but the players have to execute. Totally agree there. No points in the multiple red zone visits weren't Getsy's fault. And I'll actually back you up on this too, Renewable. I agree. You see some of those plays out there that they were kind of mentioning. They're like, yeah, here's this guy that's schemed up and they're open, right? He was calling good plays, especially that little Ryan Griffin flip. Brilliant play call. Oh, it was amazing. You just got to get a little bit more air under it, right? Especially when he's got that time. Just lob it a little bit higher, and that's a touchdown, right? But also, too, one thing is, well, Justin Fields is really bad at trying to pass it past the offensive lineman and defensive lineman. Just seems like a lot of his passes get deflected at the line. I'm not a quarterback's coach. I'm not going to try and pretend I know how exactly you do it. Might just be the arm inflections, arm angles, and stuff like that. But seems like everything gets swatted down, and there's a lot of great opportunities that was shut down at the line. Reload also says Herbert should run faster. He has to slow. He would have had that touchdown. I agree. He would have had that touchdown, but yeah, slowed down a little bit. But honestly, too, this is a good game for our running backs. I thought it was solid. Khalil Herbert, big game, right? Big play. And that's also how Khalil Herbert gets his yards. He goes to the outside, is able to kind of shed off some wimpy tacklers, do pretty well. So honestly, thought it was a pretty good game from the offensive perspective. Obviously, some things to clean up, but it's just that execution. It's just when it boils down to it, that's what separates good teams and bad teams. You got to be able to execute. You got to be able to execute this stuff out there. And we just didn't. And so let's go over, actually, got some overreactions. I'm bringing it back just for this one. First overreaction. And this is actually from me. So I've already talked about this. I say bench Lucas Patrick. And the reasons why I say bench Lucas Patrick. So this is my hot take, my overreaction. Bench Lucas Patrick, because I hate saying this. I was looking at the PFF stats. Lucas Patrick has graded better at guard than at center throughout his career. He's been a better guard than a center. So does shifting him to center fix all woes? No, it's not. I think that we clamor onto it because Sam Mustipher is bad, right? Right? He's probably better than Mustipher, but I don't think that Lucas Patrick is the end all be all, right? Because of that, because this is more of his position. He is more of a right guard than a left guard, but still, honestly, I think that you bench Lucas Patrick because he's shown nothing at left guard. You either put him at center or you bench him. Call up Schofield, look at Leatherwood. Lucas Patrick just ain't it at that left guard. He just has not looked good every single time that he takes a snap at left guard. But then my next overreaction that I saw was a lot of people were saying, see, the Bears just need to put Velus Jones Jr. in, right? Velus needs to play more on offense. And to that, I hesitate, right? I hesitate that Velus should be in more. I think that he's a matchup threat, and you have to be able to use him more. I like the way that they used Velus today, obviously, except for the punt returns. I like the way that they used him because that's what I was kind of clamoring for. You use him in end arounds, fake end arounds. He is a weapon, so they have to track him. You see that next level speed. He is super, super fast. He's faster than anybody else out there. Maybe not faster than Justin Fields. We'll see. But he's a fast guy. He's a matchup nightmare. Keep him out there, move him around, do end arounds, do stuff like that like you were. I think that's enough for Velus right now. Velus, great in the one-on-ones in training camp, but still needs to learn a little bit more as a wide receiver. I think it's as simple as that. But I do want to see him out there as well. But I do say put the best wide receivers out there. I'd like him more than Amir Smith-Marset, who had another drop. But this is where we see the inefficiencies of our wide receivers. Let's go over to this defense. Like I said, I'm excited to talk about this defense. This defense only allowed 86 total passing yards and 128 rushing yards. Very good. The only time that they let up a touchdown was because Velus fumbled it right next to the end zone, right? And yeah, renewable, you're starting this off right here. Quinn got owned by Leno, Charles freaking Leno. Now, I still defend Charles Leno to say that he wasn't that bad, right? But Charles Leno was dominating Robert Quinn today. Robert Quinn looked old. Robert Quinn did not look good. And I think that's the difficult thing to kind of live with. Even just replaying some of the plays, because I was watching the game by myself. So I would kind of go back a little bit at halftime and look at some of these plays. He just looks old. He just looks slow out there. And there was so many times that he was just out of position, not covering the right player. And to that, Robert Quinn, step your game up. And this is another week where he just hasn't looked good. But yeah, it just was not great for him this game. But my first big takeaway, besides even just the Robert Quinn stuff, I want to just applaud Alan Williams, right? And the reason why I'm applauding him today is because what Alan Williams did is he stepped out of what his defense does, right? Because a lot of defensive coordinators, they stick to their guns, and this is how I play defense, and this is what we're going to do, right? We're a cover 2 team that doesn't blitz, so we're not going to blitz. And Alan Williams said, you know what? Carson Wentz hates pressure. We don't generate it. On third downs, we're going to put 5 at the line, and we're going to trick him, right? I love that they put like 5 people up at the line, and then they brought in Brisker inside the box as kind of like that linebacker. And then some people went back in coverage. Some people blitzed. Some people, it was an all-out blitz. I loved the defensive game plan. I thought it was very good, very well orchestrated towards Carson Wentz. Really, really liked it. So bravo, Alan Williams. I liked it. I thought it was very, very well played. But my second takeaway for this defensive side of the ball is actually similar vein to that, right? The similar thing is I still like this blitzing game plan. What do you guys think? To me, I like it. I really, really like that you just try to keep on blitzing. Roquan Smith looks like a better blitzing linebacker sometimes. Like when he's got that head of steam, he just kind of bounces off of blockers. He ended up getting a sack today. I really like the idea of just that blitz. You also saw a sack from Jaquan Brisker. Al-Qadim Muhammad even got a sack as well. I think that the blitzing was key because then you were able to get the pressure and then leave your amazing defensive backs, which we'll get to, and I'm excited to get to them. Let your defensive backs do their coverage stuff, and then you kind of put the pressure on them with your fast linebackers, fast defensive backs. I really like the blitzing game plan. I think they need to do a little bit more of that, and I think this was good. So bravo, Alan Williams. Really, really like this. So yeah, Renewable likes it too. Blitzes were nice. I agree. Very good game plan. 3 quarterback hits as well. Oh, geez. I didn't realize this, guys. Justin Fields was hit 12 times. They had 12 QB hits on him. I'm looking from ESPN. Montez Sweat, 4 QB hits. F.A. Obata, 3. Deron Payne, 2. Jeez. Poor Fields. Maybe that's why he was on the ground all the time. But let's go to my third takeaway. Kindle Vildor is officially CB2, right? When I was watching the game, when they were playing base defense, we didn't see Kyler Gordon out there. And we talked about this in the preview. That's what I would have done. And that's exactly what Alan Williams did. They kept Kindle Vildor as CB2, and I love it, right? I loved it. You put Kindle Vildor out there at CB2. Vildor has looked good. Vildor had another good game today. And you're talking about some good wide receivers. Terry McLaurin, only 3 receptions for 41 yards, right? No one else really did anything else. Cole Turner, 2 catches. Antonio Gibson, 3 catches. Curtis Samuel, 2 catches for 6 yards. This is a good defensive backfield that locked down good defensive backs. That's what we're doing. Vildor, CB2. Put it out there, right? And I love this because now Vildor's emergence, if you will, allows you to kind of shift Gordon so that he can focus on slot, right? And also, he can look at this and you can clearly see that Vildor is playing well. You reward the young guy that's playing well. So I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Great play by Kindle Vildor out there. So, yeah, and Renewables calling out Rowe still didn't look like the best linebacker ever. And he didn't, right? And he gets blown up by none other than Carson Wentz, aka Mr. Kirk Cousins light, right? It's not a good thing to put on some tape, right? I hope that everybody's kind of making fun of him as they're out there. So I really like it, but yeah, we shall see. I don't think that he's going to get his money now after he's put that on some tape. But let's go to my takeaway number 4. And I just want to call this out because I watch a lot of Bears games. I rewatch them all the time. This was one of the best games that I've seen them shedding blocks. And it's not a sexy thing to do, but normally the Bears, they never shed blocks. The linebackers are small, so they never really get off of them. Nicholas Morrow, on multiple occasions, shed his block to make the play. So I got to give him kudos there. Like, Nicholas Morrow had a pretty good game, shedding some blocks. The defensive linemen were doing that a little bit too. Later on in the game, not as much, but still, this was a bad run blocking team, and we were able to take advantage of it. That's what I liked. That's what I enjoyed seeing out there. Now, I will say too, in that same vein, yet again, this is a bad offensive line. I don't think that we took advantage of this offensive line from a defensive line perspective. So for that, a little bit more negative on that at least. But let's go to my final takeaway here. And guys, this could have been maybe the overreaction, but this is easily the best safety duo we've had since Amos, right? I like it. You see Eddie Jackson going out there, and yeah, he's throwing shoulders out there. He's smacking people. And did you see that forced fumble he did? It was so hard to tell it was a forced fumble because the ball popped out so fast. Eddie Jackson is smacking people. Eddie Jackson's playing fast. And you have Jaquan Brisker out there playing like a young stud. We have to remember this too. I think this puts more on Brisker on how good he is. Rookies don't play this well. They flat out just don't. Normally rookies play like, if it's a good season, they play like average players. Brisker's playing, to me, like an above average safety right now. That's phenomenal for a rookie. That shows you what type of a player this guy can be. And honestly, Eddie Jackson, to me, let me know what you guys think. But I feel like Eddie Jackson is showing like, hey, I know that I have a big salary cap next year, but you got to keep me, right? You guys already have 120 million in cap space. You got to keep me. Don't cut me. I'm a good player. I love it. I love this duo. I want to see them out there. But yeah, also Renewable out here saying number 6 looking better. I agree. Looking at it, you saw that Gordon was looking a little bit better. There was one play though that he was a little behind his guy. It was a tight end, but still. And also there was another little end around, if you will. I think it was like an end around screen to Terry McLaurin that it looked like that's Gordon's guy, but he was kind of like lollygagging, like, oh, he's just going to the other side. And because of it, Kindle Vildor had to make the play, and Eddie Jackson also did a pretty good play on that as well. So he's still learning, still getting there, but Kindle Vildor allows you to kind of do a little bit more. So I liked it. Honestly, the reason why I feel good is because the defense played well, right? So, so yeah, but also I want to just call this out. Renewable did say number 4, Eddie Jackson, he's getting that trade value up. That's a true statement, right? And honestly, if they trade him for a high draft pick, I wouldn't mind it. But at the same time, it's like, I like him. I've always loved Eddie Jackson, and he's playing. Selfishly, I want to keep him. But yeah, if they get a good return, I'll get over it, right? But I really want to see them. I want to see them continue it, but we shall see. But let's continue going, right? So we've gone through the offense, and we have gone through the defense. So that you know what time it is. It is time for a special teams review, where we have to go through another unfortunate special teams performance for the Chicago Bears team for one Velus Jones Jr. We talked about that the Bears should be able to get some return yards on them. We didn't. And honestly, I was going to say that Bayless did not impress me today, even before the bobbled punt, right? And I don't even want to talk about the bobbled punt because what else can you talk about it, right? We can keep on complaining about it, but yeah, he bobbled the punt. Get better, right? Don't do that. That's it. But I want to talk about his actual returns. He didn't look great, right? You see the next level speed, but I didn't see him really kind of wow me with where he was moving, where he was going. So Bayless, if you want to make your spot on this team or like really kind of show some value, you got to be that special teamer. And what's nice is we're starting to see his value a little bit on the offense, but still, this is where he's going to be. This is where he's going to play. So I don't want to see Ebner out there because I still think that Bayless gives you the best home run chance, but still. And yeah, renewable. I forgot who it was. Somebody posted out on Twitter, VJJ, the abbreviation for Bayless. So yeah, muff is a great word for him, I would say, especially if you call him VJJ. But overall, special teams, yeah, not pretty. But Cairo made his extra point at least. And Trenton Gill does Trenton Gill things. But, ladies and gents, I still have to give out a player of the game. And let me know who you think the player of the game was. Because I'm hesitant. It's like, okay, Justin Fields played well, right? He's got the stats. He's got those plays, right? But I want to bring this up too. And this is kind of some offense to, this is offense to Justin Fields. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Sometimes he plays a little like Russell Westbrook, where the team is on his back and he feels like he's got to do all this stuff. But even when he ran to like get down to the 5-yard line, Darnell Mooney was kind of open in the end zone if you would have thrown it. And he saw it. He had time. But that's where I'm hesitant to give Justin Fields the game ball because he played very well and he did a lot of good things. But also I'm looking at this going, but dude, you're still not doing the things that we need. You're still not running and executing this offense. And if he can run an offense, I'd be like, dude, this guy's going to be unbelievable, right? That's still what it is. There's some easy plays that he's just not capitalizing on. And whether it's the wide receivers or whether it's him, that's a debate, right? If you feel it's the wide receivers and not on him, that's your opinion, and that's why it's a debate. That's what's great about sports. But I'm looking down here. I can't give it to Roquan Smith. I still don't think that Roquan Smith played. Roquan played well, 11 tackles, but I don't think he's player of the game worthy. Oof. But yeah, I can't even think about this. Brisker with the sack and a QB hit. Brisker played well. God, I feel like I have to. I feel like I do have to give it to Justin Fields. But I do want to call out another thing too. Armon Watts, 7 tackles. Your starting defensive tackle over Angelo Blackson. Armon Watts have a game, right? Pretty good. But no, I think ultimately, I'm even hesitant to give it to Darnell Mooney too. I'm going to give it to Fields, right? No. My game ball, because I'm going to switch it. Game ball. My game ball goes to Alan Williams. I think that Alan Williams called a great game on defense. I think that I loved that he got out of his comfort zone and started blitzing. I really think that he played well. So it's a loss, but my game ball goes to Alan Williams. So yeah, exactly. Nobody really stood out, but yeah, SBC out here. Where do I begin? The Bears are just a parody of dysfunction and ugliness. I agree. But yeah, hey, overall though, want to just kind of wrap this thing up. Guys, Bears lose, but hey, defense looked good, right? The thing that I was nervous about is, are we going to get ran over by this Washington rushing attack? 128 yards is not great, 4.6 yards a carry, but their starting running back we held to 3.5, right? So JD McKissick, you're seeing more end arounds, more outside types of runs with these quicker guys that they were able to at least do well, but I at least like that you held the starting running back, right? We've always had some issues with that, but seriously, we should have won this game. And we're not a playoff team, right? So you can spin it that, hey, the better draft pick. Let's go. Let's ride, right? But hey, guys, I'm excited this week. Still no baby for those that have been paying attention. Still no baby so far. We will see. It will come next week. I will guarantee that. So we shall see. But it's going to be a week until the next show. So hopefully it comes tomorrow. But guys, I'm so excited for this still. But make sure to like and subscribe if you're watching out there on YouTube. Or you can always download the show. And make sure to rate 5 stars. It helps tremendously. Tell all your friends about it too. Love to get them in the live chat if you guys are into live chats as well. Guys, excited to see what happens in Unbearable Sports Podcast. We're out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair, and you know that she's a bad chick.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.